Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where we're actually having a little bit of a tussle with Shinji right now. Well, I guess specifically Shirou is fighting Ryder, or getting the shit beat out of him by Ryder, and Shinji is holding Sakura hostage. And, well, through a strange turn of events, Ryder kind of like pushed Shirou, while still beating the shit out of him, towards Shinji. And Shirou was able to actually get a hit on Shinji. At least I'm pretty sure he was able to. I had to end the episode where I did last time because I had to go and pack up and get ready for a weekend away. But now I'm back from all that. And apparently today is Shirou Day or something. I've been seeing a whole bunch of stuff on Shirou over on Twitter. And today is October 20th. Is that his birthday or something? Or is this just like the day that we need to talk about Shirou? I have no idea. I throw the knife aside. Trying not to look at my wound, I run to Sakura's side. Sakura is sitting on the ground lifelessly, not looking up. Oh, we did find out through, a little bit of something that Shinji was saying whenever he kidnapped his own sister to, use her as a hostage. Yeah, I guess there's like a little bit of a link between her and Ryder. Whatever that link is. She's avoiding talking to me. I don't know if that's because of Shinji or if it's because I've been hiding things from her. All I know is that Sakura has had a fever since this morning. Oh, hello. Yeah, we didn't really come alone. We were with Rin before we came in. It's just that they couldn't really, her and Archer couldn't really come in because of the boundary that's around here. A voice interrupts me. I heard Tosaka from behind. She must have arrived at some point. Ryder is crouched on the floor, wounded by Archer. Her clothes are soaked in blood. It doesn't look immediately fatal, but she probably can't fight anymore.
Tosaka?
Man, fuck these promises. Okay, yeah, to be fair, he did lie about that one, but yeah, it's whatever. Oh, she's menacing. Is he okay here? Well, she's important still because she's a regular person that you're throwing into all of this. That's not right. Shinji backs away from us and holds out a book. Shinji's command spell, the book that burnt to ashes in the park. He still had another one? She doesn't answer. Ryder stays where she is, unmoving. A crimson pool of blood grows at her feet. Right now, it's Ryder, not Shinji, who needs help. Ordering her to fight would only hasten her demise. What a wonderful guy. Shinji clenches the book tightly. As if that's how he uses the commands, or his command spell, Ryder's body starts convulsing, trying to stand up. Shinji doesn't rescind his order. I let go of Sakura's hand and start to run at Shinji again. But when I do...
Sakura?
I stop and turn to face her. Sakura cries out in anguish. Wait, what the fuck just happened? And Shinji's book bursts into flame, just like it did that night. I saw that we have new servant data, but hold up now. Gusts of wind howl through the corridor. They come from Ryder, who should have been sprawled on the ground, and Sakura. On edge, Tosaka and Archer watch their newly arisen foe. Ryder is completely healed. The pressure emanating from her is exactly the same as what I witnessed at Ryoto Temple. Suddenly, she vanishes into thin air. Ryder instantly vanishes from my field of view. I duck in response to the warning and see long hairs streak overhead. In an instant, Ryder leaps away with Sakura in her arms. She lands opposite me and Tosaka, slightly forward of where Shinji is standing. Ryder lets Sakura down and glances at Shinji. Despite the leather blindfold covering her eyes, her gaze is ice cold. Is it actually the other way around?
Shinji. Command spell はマスターの体に現れるもの。私はその身に成婚を持たないものをマスターと認めたことは一度もありません。だと。あなたは偽物です。疑心の書が失われた以上、あなたには付き合えない。
Oh. He just used all his fucking command spells. Then Ryder turns her back on Shinji. The gesture declares that she will never look at him again.
そういうことだったのね、ライダー。
Wait, do I have the right idea?
アーチャーのマスター。ですがあなたなら、とうに気づいていたのではないですか？
No, there's more to it here.
ええ、おかしいとは思ってたわ。魔党の人間からマスターが出るはずはない。魔党の血はもう廃れてしまって、魔術を扱える人間は輩出されないから。だから魔党の人間であるシンジは絶対にマスターにはなれないはずだった。なのにライダーは召喚され、魔党の人間がマスターに選ばれた。そうね。私は魔党造剣があなたを召喚してシンジに預けているのかと思ってた。
No. No, that's not the case. It's not Zoken who summoned her.
話はもっと簡単なのよ。造剣は手を下すまでもない。だって今の魔党家において
Yeah,
最も
there
マ
we
スター
go.
にふさわしい人間は
Tosaka isn't looking at Ryder. Her eyes are directed at...
魔党の正当な後継者、今代の魔術師であるあなただものね。
none other than Sakura. I can't form any coherent words. Tosaka and Sakura. I look back and forth between them both, unable to process anything more than what I just heard. My left hand hurts. Finally, my mind slows down enough to realize that I'm holding a knife in my left hand by the blade. Oh, I really am slow. Even after hearing Tosuka's words and seeing the command spells on Sakura's right hand, I don't even feel surprised. All I can think is why? Why is this happening? Sakura seems to shrink away, still not raising her face. Her body language seems to apologize to me for not telling me sooner. Apologize to me for not telling me sooner. There we go. Transferring command spells in order to obey Shinji Muto. That's how Rider became Shinji's servant, while Sakura temporarily gave up her authority as a master and went back to being a mere mage. When Tosuka looked at Sakura's hand, she had already transferred her command spell to Shinji. Sakura bites her lip. In response,
くそ、もう一度だ、さくら。もう一度僕に支配権を譲るんだ。
Shinji runs to her begging.
おい、何黙ってんだよ。お前は戦う気はないんだろ。マスターになるのは嫌だって散々言ったから、僕が代わりに引き受けてやったんじゃないか。それを今さら何言いこぶってんだよ、お前は。
Okay, but that's not how it always was, right? Like, we saw command spells with Shinji, right? I want to say. I mean, if we consider Unlimited Blade Works, he did go to the church, and he did get paired up with Gilgamesh, but there was at no point that Gilgamesh was actually a servant to Shinji, right? That never happened. So, was this like this from the beginning? Where maybe that's what that book was. A temporary command spell. That's what Sakura gave to Shinji. It's like he's tearing off the mask of being her brother. His fury pours out like through a broken dam. There's no need to stop it anymore. Wait, yeah, I'm starting to understand it. The reason why she always feels so terrible. Like, a lot of her life. Anything that, she has within her. Anything at all. Life force, mana, whatever. It's all going to Rider being pushed by Shinji, right? Is that what we have going on?
ライダー、お前、僕に逆らうのか。
Well, I guess it's a good thing I didn't go here first, but it does look like, yeah, Rider is actually a servant to Sakura. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
あなたは私のマスターではありません。シンジ。
And you should do that. You should.
さくらに手を挙げようとするのなら、排除されるだけの存在です。
So Sakura did know about this shit. She knew about the war to an extent. Rider lets go of Shinji, who had been clinging to her arm. He staggers backwards.
そうかよ。後悔するぞ、ライダー。お前が何と言おうと、さくらが本を作れば元通りだ。お前が僕のサーバントに戻った時、どうなるか分かって。
無駄よ、シンジ。他人に、しかも魔術師でもない人間にサーバントを預けることは不可能に近いわ。
分かってるじゃないか。レイジはあと一つあるんだ。さくらは僕の言うことなら聞く。それで。
だからもう終わりなのよ。さくらの刻印はあと一つしかない。それを使ってしまったらライダーを止める手段がなくなってしまう。そうなったライダーは自由よ。レイジで作った偽物の命令権なんかじゃサーバントは縛れない。ライダーに命令したところでさっきみたいに本が燃えておしまいよ。
So he's basically done playing Master.
それじゃあ。
ええ。あなたがマスターになるチャンスはなくなったわ。いえ、借り物のレイジでライダーを操っていたあなたは初めからマスターなんかじゃなかったのよ。
The cracks spread throughout. With a virtually palpable crack, Shinji Muto's very existence crumbles to dust. What a fucking loser, right?
そうか。初めから無理だったのか。そうだよな。僕には魔術の才能はない。ジジイからは失敗作扱いされて妹には同情される始末だった。
Okay, acceptance and understanding is a good first step here, Shinji.
そうだよ当然だ分かってた分かってた分かってた分かってた分かってたこんなの初めっから務まりっこないって分かってたさ
兄さん
いいさ気にするなよさくらこんなのは遊びだ僕に才能がないってことは分かってたマトウの後継ぎはお前だもんな僕がしゃしゃり出ることはなかったんだ
兄さん
ああ分かってる分かってるさだからさくらこの続きはお前がやるんだ僕の代わりにこいつらと戦えってことさいいかさくらエミヤも遠坂も敵だお前がマトウの後継者なら今何をするべきか分かっているだろう
If she knew about others that were partaking in the war, especially Shirou, then yeah, she wouldn't want to fight. She would definitely pass on all that shit over to her brother. But that just created more issues, didn't it?
シンジあんたここまで言ってもわからないのさくらは戦わないしあんたにもう目はない
God damn.
ライダーがいない以上私たちもあんたには手を出さないあとはおとなしく聖杯戦争が終わるまで隠れてなさい
お前には聞いてないさあさくら言うことを聞いてくれよかわいい僕の妹だろ
Yeah, remember 5 minutes ago when he was like holding her hostage? She doesn't answer. Sakura clutches one arm to herself and turns away from Shinji
もうやめましょう兄さん
and firmly rejects him.
さくらお前今なんて言った
嫌です兄さんは約束を破りました先輩は殺さないって言ったのにその約束を破ったんですだからもう
Sakura doesn't look at him. Shinji stares blank at her and then laughs. In that second, I feel an awful chill.
ならお前の好きなようにしてやるよ
There's a sound of glass breaking near Sakura. What the fuck? What is that? Sakura collapses. She drops to the ground, the strength gone from her legs.
じゃあなさくら恨むなら僕じゃなくジジイを恨んでくれ何どうせいつかはそうなるんなら今楽になった方が幸せかもよ
What the fuck just happened? Shinji runs off. What is that? She clutches her hands to her chest painfully. The earring that she was wearing broke, and some liquid drugs splashed on her. Sakura trembles on her knees. She shudders violently like a building being shaken by an earthquake, looking like she might fall apart any second.
Sakura!
Wait, what new servant data do we have now? Is it a weapon? Well, wait, I looked at the dirk before, right? I'm pretty sure we've read this before. I feel like we haven't, though. I mean, we know about this now, but it's cool to see. It's servant data, not weapon data. Is it under Rider? What would be different here? Is it the noble phantasm? No? I don't know. What changed? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what's happening. I just try to run to her side.
タケこの状況がわからんのか貴様
No, I don't. I stop. At some point, Archer got behind me. He grabs my shoulder.
ここから離れろ下手に糧を与えては戻せなくなる
What does that mean? He pushes me back and says something odd.
糧なんだよそれ
My question is answered before I can finish it. The hallway is dyed red. The haze hanging over us becomes a mist that wets my skin, covering the walls in what looks like a honey-like sweat. My skin burns. This air, This red world is a realm made of magecraft. Without a doubt, it's some unknown bounded field that will melt everyone in it.
父さんこれ
I can't breathe. Or rather, when I try, the mist enters my throat and burns me from the inside.
シンジが学校に仕掛けてた結界ね。
Ah, okay, I see.
もっともシンジからサクラにマスターが変わって威力が段違いになってるけど。
Okay, but when Shinji was the master, it wasn't as crazy, but now that Sakura is back to being in control, there's a little bit more power going through. Yeah, we do need to leave then. I look back. At the end of the dark red passage is Sakura on the ground looking like she's trying to pry something from her chest. And Ryder facing us as if to protect Sakura.
そこをどけライダー。お前の主は暴走している。他人の味を知る前に止めねば癖になるぞ。
お断りします。私の役目はマスターの守護です。あなたがサクラを殺そうとする以上、
So the only
ここを
way
通
to
すわ
like
けにはいかない。
to stop all this is we have to kill her? What?
おうみすみす主を死なせるのか。お前のマスターは著しく魔力を消費していっている。
いいえ。失う魔力より多くの魔力を摂取すれば、幸いここには魔術師が2人いる。シンジは逃がしましたが、彼らはもう逃げられない。
The insects?
サクラが虫に食われる前に。
What the
あ
fuck?
な
主が変わったところで少年は変わらんか。他人の命より自分が可愛いと見える。
それはあなたもでしょう。私のマスターより自身のマスターを守ろうとしている。
That's how it goes.
なるほど。ではお互い気兼ねをする必要はないわけだ。
Archer charges. Not heeding the stomach-like bounded field, the Red Knight runs at Sakura and clashes with Ryder.
父さんいいのか。あいつライダーと戦い出したぞ。
そりゃ戦うしかないでしょう。このままだと私もあなたも持たないもの。それに同じ魔術師としてサクラが下道に落ちるのは何としても止めないと。
So the only choice is to kill her? Fall down what path? Is she talking about the association's laws against abusing magecraft or Sakura dying because her magic circuits are out of control?
待て、なんだよそれ。なんでさくらが。
だから暴走してるのよあの子。この結界はライダーが作ったものだけど動かしてるのはサクラってこと。シンジが何をしたかは知らないけど今のサクラは見境なしよ。
And of course, Old Man Zoken is behind some of this, to some degree.
きっとサクラも
Once
私たち
insects
と
were
一緒なんで
mentioned,
し
you
ょう
know?
ね。ただ苦しいから酸素が欲しくて他人の酸素を吸いたがってる。そんなの冬木の管理者として放っておけない。
放っておけないって。お前さくらをどうする気だ。
それはあーちゃんに聞いて。私にはああなった魔術師を止める方法は一つしかない。けどあーちゃんなら何か他の方法があるのかもしれない。
I guess he's going for more of a fatal approach.
まあどちらにせよその前にライダーをなんとかしないとね。見たところあーちゃんの方が強いんだけどあーちゃんのやつなんか出力が落ちてるみたい。
出力が落ちてる。
Well, yeah. People are dying here in this hallway except for Ryder and Sakura. I return my attention to the duel. Well, Sakura is kind of dying, but even I can tell that Archer is overwhelming her. Archer was always the stronger servant, so I'd never expect Ryder to put pressure on him. And yet, that impression lasts only for a second. Ryder's weapon is her agility, so a defensive battle like the one that she's fighting now shouldn't be her forte. Ryder's greatest strength is her blindingly fast assaults, so she isn't suited to defense. It's odd that Archer hasn't already beaten her and reached Sakura. Could the fact that this hasn't happened yet mean that Archer's the one on the defensive? Archer's sword slices empty air. Ryder's hair whips to and fro as she evades his swords, simultaneously stepping in to cut Archer. But she isn't the only one who's mastered simultaneous evasion and offense. Archer's right-hand sword parries her dagger, pushing Ryder back. One step gained, one step lost. Their offense and defense are roughly even. A clash of blades continues to echo through the building, with neither fighter able to gain an advantage. Archer's the one getting desperate, though. His energy is steadily getting drained by the bounded field while he fails to defeat a weaker opponent. On top of that, Tosaka and I are at our breaking point. Breathing is hard enough, and I feel my consciousness slipping away the longer I stay in this hallway. At this rate, we're going to collapse before Archer can beat Ryder. If that's even a possibility. Hey, look, Archer's back. Archer clicks his tongue scornfully. Then Ryder stops.
あなたの力は分かった。残念ですが、今のあなたでは私を倒せない。
Ryder declares almost regretfully.
何？
あなたでは勝てないと言ったのです。あなたは宝具を使わない。あなたのマスターが使用を禁じているのか、あなた自身が桜を気遣っているのかは知りません。ただ、使わない以上はここで終わりです。
Ryder stops her feet, her only weapon, and faces Archer. She looks so defenseless, like Archer could finish this match with a single slash.
お前の主を気遣ったつもりはない。単に使う必要がないだけだ。お前とて宝具は使えまい。先ほどまで的を真司がマスターだったお前では、宝具を使うだけの魔力が溜まっていないからな。
そうですね。真司という主では、私に魔力を与えられなかった。
そういうことだ。使わぬ相手に対して魔力を消費することもない。次でお前を切り伏せ、あの娘を切り伏せれば、それで終わる。
ええ。ではそういうことにしておきましょう。あーちゃん。
Her responses, man.
私としても、その方が気兼ねなく手を下せる。
What a scary woman. Ryder's tone is serene throughout the exchange. What is she planning? She faces Archer without even taking up a stance with her daggers. I notice a slight movement behind her.
さくら、あなたはそこで耐えていてください。後のことはすべて私が解決します。
But it is not at all what she wants.
やめて、もうやめてライダー。私こんなことがしたくてあなたを呼んだんじゃない。
その命令は聞けません。私は何よりあなたの命を優先する。
Ryder raises her arm. She's 4 meters from Archer. Maintaining that distance, the servant raises a hand to her face.
それに、これはあなたが望んだことでしょう。さくら。
She undoes her black restraint. Oh, fuck, dude. Suddenly, everything freezes. Ryder's eyes. They're inhuman. Even among the rare mystic eyes, they're orbits of the highest order. Ashen eyes. Her eyeballs are so different, they could be mistaken for crystals. Lightless corneas. Rectangular pupils connecting to the outside world. Her irises freeze, not allowing her eyes to close. Hundreds of millions of retinal cells conveying optical information are made of ether, the 6th imaginary factor. Is it a work of art crafted by the gods' affection, or an inborn trait marked by their divine ire? Or is that ear? Whatever. Ryder's gray eyes are an incomparable aberration, and yet terribly beautiful. Archer stiffens. Is it because he faced her eyes head-on at that short distance? He tries to close his eyes, but his eyelids have already hardened, and he can't move his arms to cover his face. He could try to advance and kill Ryder, but his legs have already petrified up to his thighs.
嘘、石化の魔眼。
Tosuka almost screams in shock. Damn, it's crazy to be coming across more of these mystic eyes. She's next to me, and I don't know what face she's making. My own eyes are drawn in by Ryder's mystic eyes, and I can't look away. My blood congeals. My bodily fluids solidify, and I lose sensation. Mystic eyes. They are single-action magecraft possessed by some mages. Eyes, organs that normally function as receptors of information from the outside world, are transferred to enact an effect from oneself to the outside world. In short, they're items that forcibly cast magecraft on whatever's in their field of vision, and the effects are amplified if the target makes eye contact with the mystic eyes. That particular peculiarity makes them feared as things one must never look directly at, and since that very act will trap oneself in the user's magecraft. Because of their concealability and power, mystic eyes are viewed among mages as proof of a first-rate practitioner. The techniques needed to remake one's eyes into magic circuits are worthy of a magic crest. Of course, artificial mystic eyes are limited to charm and whisper effects. Powerful mystic eye bearers are limited to those born with their eyes. Binding, compulsion, contract, burning, illusion, misfortune. Mystic eyes with such power to interfere with others' destinies are termed noble colors, and petrification is one of the highest orders among them. There are no modern mages who possess such eyes. Few mages can even perform petrification with magecraft. Imagine how monumental it is, then, to be able to petrify things by simply seeing them. Breaker Gorgon, self-sealed dark temple. It takes godly power to seal a divine curse. These are demonic eyes possessed only by demonic beasts and holy spirits from the age of gods. A magecraft-based noble phantasm that is the one and only signature of the heroic spirit Medusa, who could turn anyone she saw to stone. I was thinking about Medusa earlier, but I didn't think, oh, that could be her. Duh. Honestly, I really should have seen this one coming. I always thought she was scary, and Medusa's a pretty scary bitch. Alright, we have new servant data, and obviously I know where this one's at. Let's learn about good old Medusa, the demigod Gorgon that comes up in Greek mythology who turns anything she sees into stone. A demon that is often portrayed as the incarnation of a snake. She is defeated by the hero Perseus. However, she also became an object of worship as the anti-hero of negative thoughts. She is the youngest of the three Gorgon sisters, who are... ah, shit. How do you pronounce that? Stheno? Let's go with that. A strong woman. Uriel, one who flies far. There we go. And a Medusa, a woman who dominates. She is not immortal, unlike her older sisters. She lives on the shapeless isle near the island where golden apples grow. They were originally beautiful women, but because they were loved by the sea god Poseidon, well, they were hated by the sea god's wife. The war goddess Athena, who was jealous of the girls' beautiful hair, turned them into demons. After they were turned into demons, they secluded themselves inside a lightless temple and only attacked humans whenever they felt that they had to. Medusa, victim of the gods' unreasonable doings, was met with the fate of her head being cut off on a whim. The pure white Pegasus, who was born from the blood spilt from Medusa's neck, is said to be the son of the sea god Poseidon. Category-wise, she's more of a divine spirit than a heroic spirit. The wide variety of abilities that she possesses are remains of when she was treated like a goddess. Okay. I see. Petrified up to his hips, Archer shouts a warning. Across from him, behind Ryder with her unleashed mystic eyes, some dark red wave begins to spread. Tosuka moves sluggishly. Something bad flows down the hallway towards us. The wave narrows like a spear and makes a beeline for Tosuka. She's going to die. Tosuka can't take a single step. Maybe she's been enchanted by the mystic eyes even worse than I am. And that spear is going to pierce her through the chest, and she can't do a thing about it. Her fate a few seconds from now flashes before my eyes, so... ah, fuck. We either pull Tosaka back, we close... Wait, what? I close my eyes and attack Ryder. And there's nothing I can do. We just give up. Okay, so... I think we need to, like... We need to pull her back. I think that's actually what we need to do, because we're already, like, you know, freezing up here. The petrification's already taking effect. I don't know how fast we can move to Ryder, and Ryder can just dodge. Like, if we close our eyes, we're not going to hit her. It's not going to happen. I think this is the right choice. There's no time to think. My legs move and my arms still work. I just need to move up and pull Tosaka back. Tosaka doesn't even twitch when I grab her arm. She's heavier than she looks. Oh, don't say that. I can't budge her even with 2 hands. So all I can do is shoulder tackle her out of the way. Oh, no. I hear a dull impact. I can't hear Tosaka's voice. Did we get hit instead? My body is hot. My vision gets all soft and twisty, like I've caught a serious fever. I think I hear a familiar voice far away. I'm losing my grip on reality. In my white hazy mind, the blood coming from my left arm mixes like paint on a canvas. With her hands clenched at her chest, Sakura stares in shock at me on the ground. I see her fall like a puppet with its strings cut. Did we die? Are we dead? No, we're still kicking. Was that actually the right choice? Let's go.
どう？気分少しは落ち着いた？
Sitting on one of the church pews, I nod wordlessly.
そう。なら治療の必要はないわね。あとは体力と一緒に回復するだろうから、おとなしくしていなさい。
Tosaka takes a seat a slight distance from me, but our emotional distance is many times wider. We're just waiting in the chapel for Konamine, not making small talk. When I try to clench my left hand, it twitches numbly. The pain feels like a nail was driven through my palm. My left hand hurt more from gripping the knife than the dull pain of Ryder's beating or Sakura stabbing me through the left arm. Dark clouds obscure the night sky. They seem like rain clouds announcing an imminent shower. The spear-like thing that attacked Tosaka was apparently Sakura's magecraft. The Matos passed down absorption magecraft through their family. Sakura unconsciously unleashed her magecraft because she was suffering from magical energy deficiency. She targeted Tosaka because she had the most magical energy there. When I pushed Tosaka out of the way, and that thing touched me, it caught my left arm and drained me dry of my power. Magical energy is life energy. It stands to reason that one would collapse if it was taken away. Already exhausted from fighting Ryder, I fainted right away, and then Tosaka brought us to the church. She says that Sakura lost consciousness at the same time I did.
あの子、自分に攻撃したのよ。
Tosaka murmurs, explaining that Sakura is being treated in the back of the church. Sakura seems to be in serious condition. She collapsed after being exposed to the liquid that splashed on her from the earrings, and Konamine is cleansing her of it while we wait. Tosaka doesn't speak. Archer isn't present, and Ryder is gone too. It's just Tosaka and I in the church waiting for Konamine. What a
Tosaka.
crazy turn of events, honestly. From my seat, I call out to her.
何？
聞きたいことがある。
でしょうね。いいわ、話してあげる。隠していても仕方がないし、もうその意味もなくなったし。聞きたいのはさくらのこと？
I nod. Tosaka sighs quietly and then begins explaining in her usual tone.
発端はずいぶん前よ。魔頭の血が薄れ出して、生まれてくる子供に魔力、魔術回路が少なくなっていたの。もともと魔頭はよその魔術師だから、日本の土が合わなかったんでしょう。この町に根を下ろしてから魔頭の衰退が始まって、今代の後継者である神事になって、ついに魔術回路そのものが消え失せた。 マトウの歴史はそれで終わったのよ。マトウが追い求めたものを継承するだけなら弟子でも何でも取ればよかった。けどマトウは名門だし、外部からの受け入れを拒否し続けた。結果生まれてくる跡継ぎの魔力は落ちていって、最後には完全に魔力が尽きてしまった。
Okay, then let's talk about Sakura, who seems to be an exception to not, bringing in outsiders. She was adopted into the family, no?
そうなってから弟子を取ろうとしたけど、落ちぶれた名門に来る魔術師はいなかったわ。何百年も続いたっていうマトウ。マキリの歴史はそこで終わるはずだった。けどそれで諦められるような人たちじゃなかったのね。シンジのお父さんは外から養子を取って、その子にマトウの魔術を伝えたのよ。で、エミヤ君のところは特殊だから知らないだろうけど、魔術師の家系は一子相伝なの。跡継ぎにするって決めた子供以外には決して魔術は教えない。
I
これ
mean,
は造剣も言ってたでしょ。
we also know that from previous routes. Shinji's actually the one who told us.
もし兄弟だったらどちらかを後継者にして、どちらかは普通に育てるか養子に出すって。
They don't need two heirs. So if there was a brother and a sister, no, two sisters, then what would happen to the child who wasn't chosen? I'm sure that families raise the sibling while hiding magecraft from them, but that's difficult and inefficient. A lineage that has cultivated its blood and magic circuits for generations might produce children with excellent genes. Even if they aren't chosen as the heir, it would be wrong to let those talents go to waste. Then they would...
遠坂。
そう。私、一つ下の
Oh
妹がいたの。
man.
衰退したマトウには養子を取るあてなんかないでしょ。
No fucking way, man. No way.
そうなったマトウが古くから盟約を結んでいた遠坂を頼りにするのは道理よね。父さんがどっ
That
ちを
begins
後
to
継者
explain
にす
quite a
る
bit,
つもりだ
though.
ったかはわからない。ただ私は遠坂に残って、あの子はマトウにもらわれていった。
I don't know why I never saw this. There was always something, you know? There was always something going on. It seemed like between those two. It was just so fucking awkward. It really was. But you could also tell that Rin kind of, cared for her. It was strange. But I never saw this. But it explains one thing for sure, but it leaves me questioning another. The one thing being what we saw in Unlimited Blade Works. And a different choice that I made back when I was going back through the route looking for bad endings. Excuse me. We were over at the Matou house, making sure that Sakura was all good. And Rin asked Shirou a question. And it had to do with, a child being adopted or something like that. I can't remember what the specifics were. But it's strange that Rin would ask that of someone from a different family, So, there's that connection, but also, I still wonder about what we saw in Rin's memory back in Unlimited Blade Works as well. That's a memory that apparently Sakura has. Why is that, locked away in Rin's mind?
それが11年前の話。それ以来、あの子とはまともに会えなかった。マトウとの取り決めでね。もうあの子はマトウの後継者だから、むやみに会うなって言われてたの。
そうか。それじゃあ、遠坂とさくらは。
Wow.
実の姉妹よ。まあ、一度もそんな風に呼び合ったことはないけどね。
I can't know the depth of the feelings behind those plain words, but it all makes sense now. How she's always asking after Sakura. Why she didn't let Archer use his noble phantasm.
よかった。
No, that
父さん、
actually does make some sense
桜の
actually
味
there.
方なんだ。
I'm sure there were a lot of clues as well. And now, for sure, I can say with a lot of certainty that Sakura knew of what was going on. And the way that she felt, about Rin whenever Shirou brought her up, that had to have been jealousy for sure, but there's more context behind it now, I guess you could say. The revelation is like a beacon in the darkness. I don't know what's going to happen to Sakura or what we should do with her. But in this dark labyrinth of indecision, knowing that Tosuka cares about Sakura is a ray of hope.
いいえ、私あの子の味方でも何でもないわ。
Nope, so much for that. But then, Tosuka says something in a hard tone as if reading my mind.
味方じゃない。
ええ、このままさくらが治らないのなら敵として処理するだけよ。無差別に人を襲う魔術師なんて放っておけるわけがないでしょう。キレ
Wow.
イがさくらを治療できなかったら、その時は私が処理する。
I mean, I kind of get her stance on it. She's basically lived her whole life not seeing Sakura as a sister anymore. It is basically the one that's supposed to bring at least some hope back to that family. An enemy of her own family. So, yeah, I can kind of see where she's coming from with all this, you know? It's kind of a little, you know, fucked up still. You know, the morals are kind of being thrown out the window. But I guess that's how it is in war.
何言ってやがるお前。さくらはお前の妹だろ。殺すなんて、そんなこと間違っても口にするな。
さくらはマトウの娘よ。11年前からとっくに私の妹じゃない。
父さんが、お前。
仮にあなたの言う通り肉親として関係があるとしても結果は変わらない。それこそあなたが口出しできる話じゃないわ。
それじゃあ。
I mean, it's true. No different than Shinji. No, don't say that. Don't fucking say that. I can't bring myself to make the awful comparison aloud.
何をしている。手術は済んだが、患者は未だ危険な状態だ。騒ぐのなら外でするがいい。
It's weird, you know, just, you know, not necessarily hanging out with Konamine like we did last time, but just being around him, even though he's like an enemy of sorts. It's just that he's not really in a good position here in this route. Kirie Konamine emerges from the church's inner rooms.
キレ、さくらは。
Okay, guys, one at a time. But yeah, we'll wrap it up on that note. But holy shit, man. I feel like this was not as big of a reveal, I want to say, compared to like Archer being Shirou, Unlimited Blade Works type of shit. But I don't know, were the hints as visible as I probably wanted? Like, I eventually pieced it together and had like the strongest of feelings with that reveal back in Unlimited Blade Works. But here, I didn't even like consider it at all. I had no fucking like lead up to that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but no, it does definitely connect a lot of dots like all at once here all of a sudden. I mean, there was always something going on. Sakura had a link to something. I mean, I was really close there with Sakura having some sort of link to Ryder. I don't know why I didn't just, you know, piece the final puzzle piece together on that one. Yeah, but oh well. Either way, crazy fucking episode. Crazy shit. I can see why people really, like, hyped up this day whenever we got to this a couple episodes ago. Like, this is going to be a good one. I can already tell going forward, the rest of this route, it can go in so many fucking directions. I have no idea what direction it could really go into here. But that's something to look forward to for sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. Happy Shirou Day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.